England side, you know, the team know and individuals know, and as a team they know that, you know, it wasn't good enough. You know, it was disappointing the way we performed as a team, and I think that at times we showed, you know, that we can play great football, but I think that it just wasn't good enough.
Why not? Why wasn't it good enough?
You know, sometimes it's hard to explain because everything was right, the setup was right, our camp was amazing, training facilities was, you know, first class. You saw those. You know, everything around us, the setup, you know, was perfect. It was literally down to the players performing, and that's sometimes what you look at. You know, people talk about, you know, the manager shouldn't be the manager anymore. You know, that for me, you know, should not even be in question. You know, he's a manager that up until, you know, the World Cup, you know, his record was amazing. So everybody was happy with it then. It's literally sometimes down, you know, to the team going on the field and performing. And you know, I've heard players since they've come back, you know, talk about it and say it just wasn't good enough, and that was it at the end of the day. But what I will say is, you know, a lot of people have questioned, you know, are the players passionate enough? Are the players going out there thinking about winning games? That's one thing that these players are. You know, they are passionate. They do go out there. They do want to win. It just didn't happen.
What was the spirit like? The atmosphere like? Were there any divisions in this England squad?
I think people talked about divisions, but I think that only happened when we didn't win our first two games. And when you don't win games, people start to look into things and think, you know, there are things happening.
So there were divisions?
No, it wasn't divisions. There was things talked about. There was things discussed, and of course, there's with discussions, people start to think there are problems. But it was literally down to, you know, the performance of the guys, and they know, they've all come out and said that, you know, it just wasn't good enough. So, but saying that, you know, these players, the players in the England squad, have come back from difficult times before. So this now is a difficult time because, you know, the expectations in our country are very high. So it's about winning the fans back, and you know, our players have got that passion to do that.
What was your role in this World Cup, and what was it like for you as a player to be in the dugout in a suit at a time like that?
Difficult, frustrating, because I'm not the best armchair fan as it goes. So to sit there and you know, not to train, and you know, I did my own training, of course, you know, on my leg, but you know, I couldn't join in with the lads, couldn't do anything. So, and not to be involved in the games was also frustrating. But you know, to be asked by the manager to be there and still have an effect on the players, you know, that for me, it meant a lot to me.
Do you ever want to manage the England football team?
Who knows? Never say never, but I must admit, you know, management is not something that I've ever wanted to do, and I don't think I'll ever want to do in the future. But you know, I've always said never say never about, you know, things that happen in the future. But I love coaching kids. You know, that's one thing I'm passionate about. Being a manager is one thing I'm not passionate about.
Well, Capello has the back.